Hey, you didn't go to a concert last night? Come on, let's go. What about you? He's been up for hours. Can't wait to get going. It's back to work Monday, and we're a little bit late to the door, don't you think, T-Rex? 1, 2, 3, and we're out. Oh boy, yes. Look at this. Of course, it's Monday, so of course the sun is out. We started off in the upper 30s. We're up to about 45 degrees here at 9 o'clock on Monday, April 14th. Kind of easy to remember when tax day is on the 15th, right? And boy, do we have a beauty today. The best surf, ski, weather day of the season. You see that flag blowing from west to east or northwest to southeast? That's an offshore flow. And look back to work. Yeah, if your job is surfing at Hampton Beach, the Cinnamon Rainbow webcam this morning, what's that, about 24 people out there in the water? The Stellwagen buoy says 4 foot 8 seconds. I like that. Nice little clean, long period, semi-long period swell, thanks to our 3-day nor'easter going into the books. It's offshore, and look at all this blue sky. But when you look at it from space, it's actually a very narrow band. There it is, the big picture. You'll slowly zoom it in here. The departing storm there, still some clouds in eastern Maine. And the next front, which, by the way, is a warm front initially, is right on our doorstep. So right in Boston, we have this perfect blue sky for a few hours. And what about ski weather? Perfect blue sky. Also, at Stowe, Mount Mansfield, Carl and Donna, as usual, on the standard park there. And how do you describe that groomer,
the standard terrain
Carl?
park, the snow. I always say it's a great groom, beyond a great groom.
A groomer beyond a groomer. I can't remember exactly what you said, but I like the way you said it. In other words, it's fantastic skiing today.
April
And
14th,
we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
They're going to stay open another week past.
Okay,
Coming Sunday, so.
there's a rose bush. The roses are starting to bloom, but I just want to show you how, no matter what you have in the yard, how small it is or where it is, the animals are going to go around it and get tangled. But look at this. This is my machete. It's my gardening tool. Look at that bud right there. The roses are blooming. So surf, ski, gardening weather. How much rain did you get at your house in the 3-day nor'easter? Well, here's the last 24 hours. This would be the Sunday and early Monday. The way these work is everyone gathers their rain gauge data and puts them online at 7 or 8 a.m. I'm more of an 8 a.m. or a 9 a.m. guy. So Cape Cod got another inch to inch and a half yesterday, whereas Connecticut, it didn't rain at all yesterday. Most of us were just getting a little bit of rain, and it rained all day long at my house yesterday. And then here's the 3-day totals since Friday. And you can see parts of Cape Cod got more than 2 inches of rain. And standing out there is Worcester. The observer in Worcester says 1.7 inches of H2O, but 6 of those inches were snow, so it's the liquid equivalent. And here at the Surf Ski Weather HQ, we've got another 0.13 yesterday. So if I do a quick math, we got less than a half inch of rain here over 3 days, but we had plenty of wind, and the grass is turning green, and Steve chooses to chew it. Steve? What's all that racket down the beach? We'll go look at that. The regional temperature roundup this morning, we're on our way up, but to start off the day, look, one of the warmer spots in southern New England was Worcester at 41, where Worcester was the cold spot the last 3 days. That's because we had a bit of an inversion last night with a clear sky and a lighter wind. There was a decoupling of the atmosphere, and the lower elevations did get into the 30s. And now we're warming up, and it should be at least 60 in Boston today, if not better, because the air coming down from the Worcester Hills, downsloping, compressing, warms us up. So northwest wind, even though it started off in the 40s or 30s, we should get up in the lower 60s. There's the GFS meteogram from weather.us, and there's Boston there at 60 today with the sunshine fading. And then tomorrow we're still on the warmer side, but there's a cold front coming in. Things are going to go up and down this week, but we're going to have more warm fronts than cold fronts. And note, way out there on the right, Saturday all of a sudden is showing 70 GFS. I'll show you why in a few minutes, but there's a lot to talk about before that. Let's take a look over the cliff here. Lots going on. We got the engineers and the managers looking at it, wondering, hey, what are we going to do over here between that weatherman's house and his neighbor? That's Dennis, and I'm not sure who else, and Adam. And it was a low tide this morning. Tide's incoming, and it'll be high tide early this afternoon, and that's also instrumental in surfing, so maybe an evening ski session. And they're moving the platforms around. We've got some clean fill. That was all applied already this morning, that clean fill right there. And they've already dug a big hole right there. So we're going to do some more placement of the retainment wall. And those boulders are going to come off the water over there. Those are all going to end up back on the hill. I see some. Hi, good morning. They're looking right up in the sun. They can probably not even see me. But all right, we'll get out of the wind over here a little bit. And hopefully that wind's not bothering you too much. We've got Steve. And what else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah, more warm fronts than cold fronts this week. So here's the surface map this morning. Our departing storm on the right there, and then there's about a 997 low over the upper peninsula of Michigan. And note 3 warm fronts, one there to the north, one right along that low, and then another one off to the south. So 3 warm fronts trying to come at us. And there is a winter storm warning in effect in upper peninsula of Michigan, but that snow is going to lift north of us for the most part until it gets colder again. There is a pretty serious cold front, even though we're going to have more warm fronts than cold fronts. The cold front coming in tomorrow and tomorrow night is going to cause more snow in the mountains, but for most of us it's going to be a rainmaker again tomorrow. So we get this one day off from systems here today with the sunshine. Let's do the NAM. No, look at the radar. The radar shows just a finger of rain there coming across New York and Pennsylvania. And that finger of rain is the warm front coming at us, but it's going to be falling apart. So it's mostly dry today. And all right, so here is the NAM high res, and it shows that finger of rain there falling apart. And our thicknesses are up around 552, 558. So theoretically, if this was a perfect situation, would be 72 degrees with that 552 thickness, but someone might hit 70 today. It's not out of the question. But then the cold front's coming in tonight, and there it is, more rain and elevation snow, not to begin with, but notice as the 540 comes in, there's low pressure going to the north, right across northern Maine. It's going to be deepening, and then the cold air is really going to rush in here, and as that happens, there are some pretty heavy rain showers south and out of the mountains, and then snow at the higher elevations. And look at this tomorrow night into Wednesday, this backlash of snow coming in to far western New England, New York, northern Maine. So there's more wintry weather in the forecast this week. And that takes us out to 2 p.m. now on Wednesday. And look at that upslope snow in Vermont. Yes, please. While you're dry and not much is going on near the coast. Yes, please on that too, no doubt. Everyone wants to get their work done. It is so noisy around here. It's a parade of heavy equipment coming down along the water line. And it's one loader, a big, huge Tonka dump truck. We've got an excavator with a long arm. We've got another excavator that can move those boulders around. So what an interesting day. Out the door weather and more. We do the weather out the door every day. And let's go to the QPF, quantitative precipitation over the next 60 hours. And this is how much rain or melted snow. And there's the precipitation coming in tonight. And then tomorrow, not a washout, but there are some downpours around. And you see some stripes of purple in there. So this is like almost a rainfall lottery. All those areas in purple there, that's more than a ½ inch of H2O. And that's done at 60 hours there. You see some spots in between those bands of precipitation get very little. So those bands of precipitation, you can't just etch those in stone. So some of us are getting more than a ½ inch of H2O. And what about dendrites? What if it's just snow? Well, it's not going to be just snow anywhere. But let's run the snowfall forecast. And the light blue is 1 to 3 inches. And then you get into the higher elevations, and it's really elevation dependent on accumulating snow here tomorrow night and especially Wednesday. And you see this goes out to Wednesday at 2 p.m. And there could be some widespread snow even at all elevations in parts of northern Maine, certainly southeastern Canada. And then it's really the spine of the Green Mountains, some purple in there. So we're going to get about a half a foot of snow, and places like Mount Mansfield and Jay may get a foot of snow. All right, look at this. Cuteness alert, dog and cat sitting on this nice stone that we have that I'm not sure where that's going to end up. Skiing. Ski season. The mountains are closing. Jackson Hole. Yesterday was closing day at Jackson Hole. I think that's a parks regulation thing, but there's just about 8 feet of snow on the ground there at Jackson Hole. And at Killington, not closing day, but yesterday, the last day for the Superstar chair. As it is, they're going to build a new one. And how fun is that? Look at the guy right there, bare-chested. It was a cold day yesterday. And it's always fun to catch a last chair, but this is the last chair of one that we've been riding, and all the World Cup riders have been riding for, I think, close to 20 years. I remember when that chair was new. Yeah, I'm getting old. So I guess it's going to be more challenging skiing late season at Killington. They're going to keep the canyon open, but as for getting over to Superstar, you're going to have to take launch pad, and that's going to be a hike. So Killington may not be the latest area to stay open. You know who wants to stay open one of the latest? Black Mountain in New Hampshire. You probably read all about them making snow last week in that cold weather and the week before. Well, that cold wave that we've had that's been so dominant is going to ease, and we're getting into more of a neutral to almost warmer wave with cold air intrusions. So, sometimes we're in a warm pattern and we get, or sometimes we're in a cold pattern and we get warm intrusions. That was the story of our entire winter. Well, now we're going to go into a warmer pattern with cold intrusions. And so we're going to stick with the GFS, and here it is. Getting lengthy here, aren't we? And the GFS shows this low coming in to the north of New England tonight. So that's gusty wind from the south. Warm air advection showers return overnight tonight and tomorrow. Off and on rain, and snow level comes down 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 feet by tomorrow night. And then by Wednesday morning, the snow level is down below 1,000 feet. So it's snowing right down to the base of your favorite mountains in Vermont, the ones that are still open and spinning lifts, and parts of New York, and certainly Quebec and southeastern Canada getting it with that storm that's going to stall and retrograde. And look at the isobars thickening up, and it's going to be windy and cold all the way to the coast by Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Upslope snow continues Thursday, and then the situation gradually eases. Then we have another storm coming across the northern plains, and this has been a definite trend. Every day we look at this, it's farther and farther north, and so far north now that on Friday, we're still dry. Warm air advection comes in Friday night, and Saturday, the rain is missing southern New England. It's in northern New England, and that low is so far north, that's about 700 or 800 miles further north than what the guidance had it 4 days ago, and that would be primarily rain in New England. Now, there's something called consistency and a trend. So the trend has been for this thing to move north every single day, so that's not very consistent, except for the trend part. Now, I think the trend is going to end, and the thing's probably going to start jogging south in the guidance over the next couple of days. But either way, if this guidance works out like this in southern New England, we end up with temperatures in the 70s and not bad weather on Saturday. So how's that for improved, what was an 8-day forecast, now is a 5 or 6 day forecast. Yeah, Steve's loving this, getting his treatment here. All right, so let's go back to this in motion. On Saturday night and Sunday, there is a cold front coming in, but it wouldn't do anything bad to southern New England. It would cause maybe some upslope snow in northern New England. Easter sunrise service would be windy and fairly cold north, and windy and chilly south. But then that cold's really not going to stick around too much. It's going to ease out, and it looks pretty nice now next Sunday, Monday, and then getting into Tuesday the 22nd, and then Wednesday the 23rd of April. And it shows, I can't remember exactly what was going on here. I think that there are, pockets of severe weather in the middle of the nation, and the thicknesses, if I recall, are up around 558, 562. So that would indicate a much warmer pattern, which makes sense for New England, with some weather coming at us. Will be in the form of April showers and maybe thunderstorms. This is now getting into the 4th week of April, and don't let me forget to talk about 1977 again. Let's do the coast-to-coast North America snowfall week 26 in a row. Started way back in October of coast-to-coast North America snow, and there it is for us, adding up on our Upslope Wednesday, and then it's mostly just rain. The snow is really coming down now. The Rockies are getting snow again, even though ski area is ending. Ski seasons are ending. Ski areas are getting feet of snow out west. And the Chick-Chocks. Josh in Vermont says, I had so much fun in Colorado. Vermont was good for a couple days. I'm going north and east into Canada to ski these storms that are going to be missing us to the north. But there's still coast-to-coast snow. All right, I think that's the end of the weather part. Let's watch some boulders. Luciano taking the big boulders, and the retaining wall, I think, is mostly in place. That would be that wall right there on the water side of our new concourse that's being built. And then, I'm not sure with all this clean fill. Thank you for the more clean fill. Our slope is getting less and less steep every day. And so he's putting the heaviest boulders down the bottom. We saw this about, 3 months ago when they started the section right there. And now they're going to complete it over to the George Lane Beach. So this is Enmore. There's Luciano making it look so easy. At the Enmore yesterday, just watching the weather from indoors, and what a golf tournament. The Masters was all it could be, with the emotional roller coaster, and then going into sudden death overtime. Oh boy, I can't really lift any of that. I get in trouble. I can't do a copyright infringement. They're really strict on that. I think even if I mention the word, they're going to be having their feelers out and try and not even let me publish the video. And also, I went to a concert last night, or we went to a concert. As much as I don't like going out on Sunday nights, it was a bucket list to see Heart in concert, and it was a great show. Getting there, getting home, that's a different story. And having such a late night on a Sunday night, I'm not happy about that. But it was a bucket list, and it sounded great. And then at the very end, during the finale, they closed it out. The lights came back on. I panned around at the audience, and I put my camera up on the Boston University Terriers Eastern Champs in 1977. Sorry, I'm yelling. It's just so loud. 1977. That year is like haunting us lately with all the records rivaling 77. And as Keith and all of you know, 1977 is the latest snow on record in New England. So it wouldn't shock me if we're talking about snow again here in about 3 or 4 weeks. Sorry to say. But we're definitely turning a corner with a much improved pattern right now. This is just gorgeous. Wind is from the west is best. I got no gloves on and my hands are not freezing. All right, the Enmore from our Not in a Hurry Sunday. It looks like it's Not in a Hurry Monday too if you're watching this whole thing. Thank you. Whoops, I hit the end button too quick. I said, thanks for watching. Appreciate your viewership. And now the Enmore from yesterday. Was that crow just talking to you, T-Rex? I think so. 37. It's actually colder than it was yesterday. Oh my goodness. And look at this. Talk about boating season. Come on. Can we get through that window? Oh. Can now. 37 degrees. Talk about boating season. It's coming on. Can't stop boating season. Can't stop boaters. Okay, he's got his head up there. He's got a windshield, but it doesn't matter. What's the wind chill factor there? Cold. Sunday. Still editing the Sunday edition, but here's the beginning of the Monday and more. I just heard a cardinal. 2 o'clock. It was starting to brighten. You can see clearing on the northwest horizon almost, but we got the rain backing in from the east right now. It's actually raining harder now than it's rained since yesterday morning when it was mixed with sleet and snow. 42. Where it is mixed with sleet and snow on Cape Cod. Day 3 of the 3-day nor'easter. Now this is the Enmore for our Monday, and the winds come around from the other direction, and we're in the low 60s. Is that what's happening today? Well, today's tomorrow, and we're looking at the rain gauge from yesterday, 0.03. That gets us up to 0.36. Oh my goodness, every time you go out a door and you don't shut it tight, this one comes outside. Go back in. Steve, go back. Ah, so frustrating. Now he's not on a line. So now I gotta go pursue Steve. Come here, Steve. Get on your rock. Steve, Get on your rock. Right there. Out of the mud. He just loves it down here. What do you see? Mitt would not come out like this. Not in the rain. Only Steve. We're going back inside. Yeah, I can't get a video. I got him now. Got him. All you gotta do is leave the door just a little bit ajar and then not close the slider, and this one finds his way out. Cat paws. Hey, Steve. Hey, Mitt. How's the weather? Huh? Not good. It's not bad in Florida, though. I mean, Georgia. The wind is more from the northeast now, 6:30, than it was this morning when it was from the north. And it has not stopped raining for even a minute. Now, sometimes your drier air can come in from the northeast. What do you think, T-Rex? Should we call it a day? Well, I'm actually going out tonight. Masters not even over. Oh boy. What a edge of the seat kind of weather we've had. And sports with the Masters. And I'm actually going into town and we're gonna see a concert. So laying maybe a little without getting copyright infringement from the concert. And some time lapse of both Weymouth and Cape Cod, where on Cape Cod there was a trace of snow today going in the books. Here in Weymouth. Just rain all day long. See if you can see the clouds moving more from the north than from the northeast. In other words, from right to left, and then more from over the shoulder on the right towards the left front. .11 in Compton today, wetter than yesterday. Cape Cod, I don't think you can see it, but the visibility came down. It's pretty heavy rain right around lunchtime or so. Probably pretty close to record low high temperatures on Cape Cod today. Hey Rex, sit. Rex, can you stop and sit and be pretty for the end of the show? How did the Masters end up? I don't know. Everyone else knows, but this time, I do not know. But I know I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.